Marriage green card USCIS Titans filing rules note all details. Applying for a marriage-based green card in 2025 comes with new challenges, including longer processing times, stricter scrutiny, and updated forms. With these changes, it's essential to be prepared and stay informed to avoid delays and denials. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. Updated forms, higher fees, and extensive verification of marriages require careful preparation to avoid delays and denials. If you're married to a U.S. citizen and plan to apply for a green card in 2025, you'll notice significant changes in the I-130 and adjustment of status procedures. With the Trump administration still impacting USCIS policies, applicants should be prepared for a more complicated process. Want your 2025 marriage-based green card application to be processed smoothly and quickly? Here's what you need to know to stay on track and avoid surprises. Longer processing times. Wait times for marriage-based green card applications have increased in 2025. Biometrics appointments, interviews, and approval processes are all taking longer, even for couples applying from within the United States. Although USCIS has acknowledged these delays, they have yet to implement solutions. Be prepared for a slower journey, as tougher checks and more extensive vetting procedures are to blame for the longer processing times. Stricter scrutiny of marital authenticity. In 2025, USCIS officers are dedicating more time to verifying the authenticity of marriages. Expect greater scrutiny on shared finances, living arrangements, and social histories, along with more detailed interview questions and requests for additional evidence. Inadequate paperwork may lead to denials. Recently, including 3 home visits from USCIS officers, multiple contacts with the U.S. spouse's family members across various states, and even repeated requests for private information like criminal history. This heightened scrutiny can make the process even more difficult for applicants, even before legal representation is involved. Updated forms and increased filing fees. USCIS has raised filing fees and released updated versions of Form I-130 Family Petition. It's crucial to submit the most current versions of the I-130 and I-485 forms to avoid having your case rejected. Relying on outdated checklists could delay your application. Always double-check the requirements before submission to ensure your forms are up to date. Delays in work and travel permits. If you're applying for work and travel permits, EAD/advanced parole, while changing your status in the U.S., expect longer wait times. Processing for these permits now takes 8 to 14 months. Many applicants find themselves unable to work or travel while their green card application is pending. We often have to inform clients that they are not permitted to leave the U.S. until they receive their advanced parole. For those who cannot afford to wait, consular processing may be a better option. Fewer interview waivers. Previously, USCIS often granted green cards based on paperwork alone, waiving many marriage green card interviews. However, the agency has resumed in-person interviews for many applicants. It's important to note that having a marriage interview does not protect you from detention by IC if you have a prior removal order or an overstay. Just last week, USCIS shared images and videos on their official social media accounts of applicants being detained at the Miami USCIS field office. On the positive side, if your marriage case is well documented and straightforward, you might still be eligible for an interview waiver, which can save you months of waiting. What USCIS considers a bona fide marriage. USCIS takes several factors into account when determining the legitimacy of a marriage, including joint bank accounts, a shared mortgage or lease, photos together over time, call logs, emails, and text messages, affidavits from friends and family members. Simply providing a marriage certificate will not be enough. Be sure to have comprehensive evidence to demonstrate the authenticity of your relationship. With the 2025 changes to USCIS procedures for marriage-based green cards, applicants need to be more prepared than ever. Longer processing times, stricter scrutiny of marital authenticity, and updated forms and fees all mean that applicants should pay extra attention to detail. Make sure your paperwork is complete and up to date, and be ready for possible delays. The process may be tougher, but with the right preparation, you can navigate these changes and secure your marriage-based green card. Green card marriages interviews, application process, financial disclosures, changes made by Trump administration. The Trump administration has made sweeping changes to the green card application process for married couples as part of its broader push to crack down on immigration enforcement. The changes involve new application forms, the resumption of marriage interviews, and greater financial disclosure requirements. As part of his overall immigration policy, President Donald Trump has repeatedly stressed cracking down on illegal as well as legal immigration avenues. The new adjustments indicate a more vigorous attempt to scrutinize green card marriages and make sure they are in line with immigration laws, revised application process, and financial disclosures. Among the changes is the use of the new version of Form I-485, application to register permanent residence or adjust status, which, starting January 20th, is mandatory, as mentioned in a report by Newsweek. The new form features terminological revisions, most significantly the return of the term alien. One of the most significant additions to the form is a more elaborate public charge portion, which forces applicants to report their household income, assets, liabilities, and public assistance obtained in the United States. Immigration lawyers claim that such additions are deterrents to people with meager financial resources, and therefore the green card application becomes harder for some applicants. Additionally, candidates are now required to include their highest level of education, certifications, and professional skills data not previously requested. Experts believe this may be an effort to favor applicants with greater economic contributions. Reinstatement of marriage interviews. The other major policy change is the resumption of marriage interviews for applicants for green cards based on marriage. In the Biden administration, most marriage-based green card applications were processed without an interview if there were no issues. However, immigration authorities affirmed that during Trump's policies, interviews became a requirement again. Immigration attorneys underscore that respondents are well advised to expect scrutiny in questioning about their history of relationships, cohabitation, and financial interdependence. Submitting lengthy documentary support, e.g., joint bank statements, rental documents, and photos is presently more essential than ever in establishing the authenticity of a union. Government's justification and legal challenges. A U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services spokesman justified the policy changes, saying that the agency is dedicated to strengthening fraud detection and enforcing rigorous screening measures. Officials contend that the changes are needed to keep out fraudulent marriages that are only being entered into in order to gain immigration benefits. But advocacy groups and immigration lawyers have decried the steps as excessive and discriminatory. Amol Sinha, executive director of ACLU New Jersey, denounced a heightened scrutiny as part of more general anti-immigrant rhetoric and cautioned against possible constitutional violations in some instances, as per a report by Newsweek. Looking ahead, the enforcement of these policy reforms indicates that the Trump administration's immigration agenda will be in a continuous state of change. Immigration attorneys forecast further adjustments to the process of immigration, potentially including the monitoring of social media for applicants in the coming days. Green card petitioners who are dealing with these new regulations should remain educated, consult lawyers, and provide complete documentation of their marriages to prevent unwarranted delays or rejections. FAQs. What is the denial rate for marriage green cards? Recent data suggests that the denial rate for marriage-based green cards ranges between 10% and 20%. How many green cards are approved each year? There are roughly 1 million green cards issued annually. The updated marriage-based green card process may seem more complex, but with the right preparation and attention to detail, you can successfully navigate these changes. Stay updated. Ensure your documentation is complete and consider legal help to avoid unnecessary delays. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Marriage green card USCIS tightens filing rules. Know all details. In 2025, applicants seeking a merit-based green card will face several significant changes in the application process, influenced by updated USCIS of procedures and policies under the Trump administration. These changes include a longer processing times, increased scrutiny of marital authenticity, higher fees, and updated forms, which all require careful preparation to avoid delays and denials. Processing times have increased significantly, with delays affecting biometrics appointments, interviews, and approvals. The added vetting procedures, such as tougher background checks, are to blame for these longer timelines. Applicants should expect a slower journey with a heightened scrutiny of their marriages. USCIS officers are now dedicating more time to verifying the authenticity of marriages, focusing on shared finances, living arrangements, and social histories. Detailed documentation will be required, including joint bank statements, rental agreement, and photos together over time. Inadequate or a missing paperwork could result in a denials. The Trump administration policies also involve reinstating in-person marriage interviews for most applicants. Previously, many green card applicants had their cases processed without interviews, but now interviews are more common, adding an extra layer of scrutiny. However, applicants with a well-documented marriages may still qualify for an interview waiver, potentially saving months of waiting. Additionally, USCIS has raised filing fees and released updated version of the I-130 and I-485 forms. It is crucial to submit the most current forms to avoid rejection, as relying on outdated checklist can delay the applications. Another challenge involves delays in a work and travel permits (EAD) advanced parole, which now take 8 to 14 months to process. These extended wait times means applicants may find themselves unable to work or travel while their green card applications are pending. Furthermore, the updated I-485 form includes a more detailed public charge sanction requiring applicants to report their financial information, including household income, assess the liabilities. This change is designated to deter applicants with limited financial resources and complicates the process for some. To avoid delays or denials, applicants should ensure their documentation is thorough, up-to-date, and accurate, and consider seeking legal assistance to navigate these more stringent requirements.